Well, at this point, most people are counting the sleeps down until Christmas Day, but the team here at Manor Farm Stables Ditcheat are, of course, counting the days down until Boxing Day, the festive period where Paul Nicholls, champion trainer, does so well, especially the King George, a race that you've won 10 times.
Yeah, been an amazing race for us, you know. Started off with Seymour Business winning the twice, then Kauto Star winning 5 times, Silviniaco Conti twice, and Clan Des Obeaux last year. It's just been an incredible race for us. But the King George is, you know, mid-season Gold Cup. That's what you're aiming horses for those races, and it's been good to us.
How are you feeling this year? Excited?
Yeah.
You got 2 fancied horses.
Yeah, we've got some nice horses there to run, especially the Cyrname, Clan Des Obeaux and the King George. Really looking forward to it. It's very exciting.
The Cyrname trying to make all here. Has about a 2.5 length advantage. They come towards the last. Asked for a big leap. He responded. He landed by 3 lengths. And it is Cyrname who gets the spoils here. Cyrname and Harry Compton have made all.
Cyrname, he was simply stunning at Ascot. How's he come out of that race and what's he done since?
Yeah, obviously, you know, they had a fairly hard race, but he was fairly fit, and I've also, you know, fit horses get over the races quicker, and he got over the race very quickly. I didn't do it a lot for a fortnight, he just lobbed up the hill once for a week and twice. The second week is now back in normal routine, and as you can see, he's fresh and well, and we're very happy with him, you know. How
did you feel after winning that race? Because going into it, there were a fair few doubters, if you like, thinking that maybe he was one-trick pony after what he did the season before. Could he do it again?
Well, he was the best horse at 2.5 miles. That was the thing, and Altior was obviously the best at 2, so they were meeting, you know, with Altior stepping up in trip. And there was, you know, a lot of debate as whether Cyrname should have been the highest rated on form, and I actually think he should have been on the race at Ascot when he won over 2.5. That was probably the performance of the season, but it didn't reflect anything on what Altior was running over 2, so they were obviously met, and we came out on top. Well, I think his performance says he's a bit special. That he's a long way off being Kauto Star or a Denman. They were exceptional horses, but he, you know, he's going the right way. He's rated 100 and I think 77 now, so that's a high rating, and you know, his last 3 runs have been very, very good. I hope he can just keep progressing, you know. It wasn't the easiest to train last year. The routine he's in now, we wouldn't have able to do at all last year until after his run Ascot in the autumn when he got beat, and we just changed routine with him, and he suddenly just, the penny dropped that he would trust us and do what we wanted. And Scott rides him well, but you would have never led the string or walked and done all this with him last year. He literally would bolt, and that's what he used to do in his races, try to do everything on one breath. Same going down to the start. And I can't explain really enough that he's like having 2 different horses from a year ago to what we've got now. And it just makes such a massive difference to his temperament. We've been able to get the best out of him. But so I always say Rome wasn't built in a day, and it can take so long to get the best out of these horses and get to know them. And we've got that now, you know, and he's a proper horse now. But
I just get the impression he's a horse that really excites you.
And of course he's an exciting horse. To beat Altior, you know, who was a real champion, was going for his 20th win on the trot, just says it all.
Take us back to last year, winning the King George with Clan Des Obeaux and Harry Cobden. I feel like it was a coming of age for the pair of them.
Yeah, Clan was far and away his best ever performance. He'd run very well in the Betfair Chase. Didn't really probably get the credit he deserved for that run. Of course, he was probably a handicapper. And we knew he'd improve enormously, and we'd set our sights on the King George, and Harry was determined that he was going to ride him and not Politolog. He thought he'd definitely stage, whereas Politolog probably might not. And horse improved from Haydock to Kempton, and won very nicely. He ran very well in Downroll, but we knew the target was always going to be Boxing Day. Improved so much last year, and he'll done the same again this year. He's actually a bigger, finer, stronger horse this year. You know, he's matured. He's in a really good place. So yeah, really looking forward to the race with him.
Final fence now, terrific finale. Towards the near side, a good lead from Trucker's Lodge, and he goes on now by a length or so. Trucker's Lodge and Johannes as they go on the line. Trucker's Lodge beat Johannes.
So we've got the Coral Welsh National coming up after Christmas, of course, on the 27th. And Trucker's Lodge is a fascinating contender in that he's unexposed. Yeah. He's a young horse, relatively.
Yeah, I hope so. I always think novices do well in those handicaps. If you've got the right horse that, you know, hasn't got too high a rate in. He loves Chepstow. He's won there twice over hurdles and over fences, and I sort of thought back in the last season he's a real horse for the Welsh National. Let's try it. And of course you've got a 3 runs over fences to be qualified. So he started off in May, Newton Abbey, he was second. Then he ran tidy at Chepstow in October, needed the run. Then he won the next day. And actually got dropped a painful winning, which never had that happen very often. So mark of 139 I think is fair. He's had his 3 runs. Obviously lacks that little bit of experience because he's only had the 3 runs over fences, but he's a super jumper. He's tough. He loves being, you know, right up there, and he's got no weight. All he ever does is stay. You know, he's wanted Exeter in the mud, he wanted Chepstow in the mud. He stays strong. I'd say it'd be no problem for him.
Yala Enki is a horse who's been there, done it, run well, but not with you.
No, he's with Venetia Williams. She's done very well with him. Clive, who owned him, switched him to us this summer for reasons only known to himself. I think he just felt the horse was a little bit older, a little bit of a change of scenery might have helped him. He obviously done very well for Venetia, so it'll be hard to improve on that. And he ran very well in the race last year and was 3rd, so it's obviously a good race for him. Had a lovely prep race in the Hennessy the other day because he wasn't really fully wound up. He'd had a wind up when he came to us, so I was a little bit behind with him, so that run's just done him the world of good. It wasn't that soft for the Ladbrokes Trophy. He'd dried a lot on the day. It was more like good to soft ground, but he still ran well. He had a good blow and finished midway, but he's come on a ton for that, and the Chepstow race suits him very well. And it'd be nice if Native River ran and keep the weights to a sensible sort of level for him.
Looking at him today, he looks like he enjoys his work. Brian, he's riding, he's quite forward-going. He's got a touch of class about him too. Yeah,
he ran very well in last year's Gold Cup, so he's got a bit of class. He gets on with his work. Brian, he gets on very well with him. Rode him in Newbury, and she'll ride him in Chepstow as well. So, yeah, he's in there with a real good shout, I'd say.
Well, Paul, you're champion trainer, and the whole of the National Hunt season is important to you, and I know Cheltenham's important to you, but you seem to always thrive and do so well at this particular festival, the Christmas festival at Kempton, the King George, and across the whole meeting. What have you got to look forward to outside of the King George?
Yeah, it's always been good meeting to us. It's good prize money, good racing. I think on Boxing Day, as well as obviously the runners in the King George, we're planning to run Getaway Trump in the Christmas hurdle. He's been chasing up to now and hasn't quite worked out, and I just thought I'd switch back to hurdles to do him good. He's a very, very good hurdler last year, so he's going to run in the Christmas hurdle. And a horse called Master Tommy Tucker will run in the Kauto Star Feltham, which is a 3-mile novice chase grade 1. He'd been off for a year, and he won well at Kempton on his debut the other day, so he's a possible. The only other one I might look at running in that race is Danny Whizbang. If the ground came up very, very testing, he won at Newbury recently, then I might switch Master Tommy Tucker to Cheltenham for a different race and let Danny Whizbang run because he wants a trip on testing ground. So it just depends on the ground, really. But
those two, Master Tommy Tucker and Danny Whizbang, obviously they'd had gaps in their race and they've come back and won, and it feels like with both of them there's untapped potential there, still more to come.
Yeah, Master Tommy Tucker is a very smart horse. He won his only 2 hurdle races. Would have won at Chepstow last October and fell and actually fractured and chipped his knee. He had to have surgery, so he missed a year. So he did well to come back and win like he did the other day. It's a good horse he is. And Danny Whizbang never had any problems. He just won 2 last year. It was a backward horse. When we wanted to run him again, the ground was too quick, so we just left him. And it surprised me when he won the grade 2 at Newbury there the other day. And he's progressive too.
Busy morning as ever here at Ditcheat Manor Farm Stables, and horses coming and going, being worked, washed off. So what happens over the Christmas period? You've got 140 horses, lots of staff.
Yeah.
What do you do Christmas Day?
The horses have to be fed and looked after just the same. Christmas Day is a bit shorter. We start a bit earlier. We ride out one lot of probably 45, give them all one canter up the hill. That's everything that's going to run over the Christmas period. The rest get the day off. Try and get everybody finished and done by 10 o'clock. And then come back in the evening and feed up and do everything up with the people that are left in. So, and then the day after and the day before, it's just normal.
So you're still up here, Christmas Day?
Yeah, oh yeah, you've got to be, because it's big day, Christmas Day, getting horses, making sure everything's right for Boxing Day, and, perhaps you can't, and the horses have to, they're like living in a 5-star hotel and you can't stop just because it's Christmas Day.
And you yourself, everybody else gets excited Christmas Eve, looks forward to Christmas Day. I guess you get excited at the evening of Christmas Day, looking forward to Boxing Day.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I've been, looking forward to the King George, aren't you? It's a proper race. Christmas Day is almost a boring old day sometimes. It's a long day ticking by when you're used to routines and you've got nothing to do. But by the time we finished here and had a few in the pub at lunchtime and at lunch, it's time to come up here and do the horses, feed up, and make sure everything's okay, and then, as I said, we're straight into Boxing Day.
You still have a family day, have lunch and a few presents?
Still do normal stuff. Yeah, because we try and get everybody finished here at 10 o'clock, and then no one comes back till 5 o'clock, so you've got plenty of time in the day to do whatever you want to do.
The best Christmas present of all will be to win the King George.
Yeah, it would, because we love winning that. Yeah, it'd be brilliant, yeah.
Flags up, starter is ready for them. Coming forward. They're off. The Coral Welsh National is underway. Native River bowling along in front, up and over it safely. But it's Native River and Richard Johnson who are going to win the Coral Welsh National and carry top weight of 11-12 to do it as well.